Hey, oh, what the? I don't teach anything here, so I really don't know why you're following me. Oh, great. Now I gotta deal with this guy.
You're a right foul git, you know that.
You think so?
I know so.
Look, Harry, can I call you Daniel?
Yeah.
Great. I have no beef with you. Most of my criticism has been about the writing, which is not your department, so I don't know what else I can do for you, Daniel.
Stay away from me.
What? You approached me. Jesus Christ, I don't get these kids. Every day around here seems to be worse than the previous one, which, ironically, is a lot like these movies. Let's get to it, shall we? Okay. Hey, look at that. First movie not to start with the Dursley scene. We're off to a good start. An old caretaker stumbles upon a conversation Voldemort is having with his henchmen. It's never explained in the movie how he's come back from the dead. Even in the first one, it's never explained how he ended up on Quirrell's head. In the movie, it's never explained. Don't talk to me about the books. I'm never going to read them. I mean, how can I? All they are is just a cardboard box with a brick in it. How am I supposed to read that? Crazy. The gang and family go to the Quidditch World Cup with a new character named Cedric. We also get a reminder that Draco is still useless. Can't ignore the classics. It seems the only point of this 9.5-minute sequence is for the bad guys to announce their existence. Why would they want to do that? Didn't they learn anything from Palpatine that it's a bad idea to let people know you exist before you're ready to start a war? Now, I know this movie came out before Rise of Skywalker, but Star Wars takes place a long time ago, so fictionally, it came out first. The Tri-Wizard Cup event is announced, and the teams are introduced. This guy is Igor Karkaroff. He was a Death Eater during the First Wizarding War, essentially a Nazi in this story, for kids.
For kids.
After the war, he kept his freedom by snitching on all his Nazi friends and, oh jeez, okay, he's pretty chummy with Dumbledore. Oh man, I don't know who to trust on Hogwarts faculty. I mean, they all have some pretty shady backgrounds. Oh, don't forget, the whole place was co-founded by a Nazi too, so... Hail Slytherin! Mad-Eyed Moody arrives on foot, accompanied by a bunch of lightning indoors, and no one seems to question it. Nah, this guy's not acting suspicious at all. The Minister of Magic announces a special change to the rules this year.
No student under the age of 17 should be allowed to put forth their name for the Tri-Wizard tournament.
Anyone who wants to be considered for the competition has to write their name on a piece of parchment and put it in the Goblet of Fire. Nazi guy enters the goblet room looking as suspicious as the Nazi can. We find out later that he has nothing to do with the shenanigans that follow. We don't even find out what he's up to in this scene. He just walks around all the time looking as suspicious as humanly possible. He can't help it. Either that or it's just some lazy manufactured misdirection for the audience. Say it isn't so. And here's a classic bloated scene. There's nothing that bad about it, but all we need to learn about are the 3 unforgivable curses, and that shouldn't take 5.5 minutes. The 3 champion names are picked by the goblet, Cedric being one of them. But there's a surprise 4th name that appears. Harry Potter.
Dun 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 dun.
Well, this is certainly unusual.
The rules are absolute.
Absolute as in they can never be changed, even though you just changed them by adding a no one under 17 rule? Or absolute as in once established they cannot be ignored, even though now you're ignoring the under 17 rule. Whatever the plot needs, man. Why does Harry have to go along with this?
The Goblet of Fire constitutes a binding magical contract.
Oh, a magical binding contract. That sounds exactly like the kind of magical vagueness a writer might pull out of their ass when needing the plot to move forward. Hogwarts now has 2 champions in the contest. Are none of the other schools complaining about this? There are 4 wizards in the Tri-Wizard Cup. Half of them from one school. The magical binding contract allows for this? How convenient.
You heard Barty, the rules are clear.
Yo, I heard Barty say that the rules are clear, but I haven't heard any of these rules for myself. This is a key plot point, no reason to explain it in any detail. I guess I don't want to hear your lame excuses anyway. Now we get the exciting subplot that Ron is pissed off at Harry for not telling him how he put his name in the Goblet of Fire. Harry tells him that he didn't do it, and he wants no part in the competition. For some reason, Ron refuses to believe him, but, they're all 14 years old and going through puberty, so I guess that's a reason. I hate teenage angst bullshit subplots. We're 40 minutes into the movie and still 18 minutes away from the start of the tournament. The main part of the story. All of these movies so far have had an extremely bloated first act, and this one is the biggest one so far. How are we going to pad out the movie some more? Well, how about introducing a news reporter who has no impact on the story at all? Just like Lockhart in Chamber of Secrets, there is no reason for this character, but let's spend 2.5 minutes introducing her anyway, shall we?
Do you think it was the trauma of your past that made you so keen to enter such a dangerous tournament?
Fascinating. Please, waste some more of my time. Alright, that's over with, but we can still kill some more time here. Harry gets a message from Sirius Black and his nasty owl. He wants to talk to Harry face to face. This 4-minute scene adds no new information to the story. It's just Black asking Harry about the dream he had, which we've already seen. We know all about it, so what are we learning here? Nothing. Well, he does cast some suspicion on Nazi-Man and Barty, but as we know, these movies have a horrible track record when it comes to initial suspicions. The main characters are wrong 100% of the time. Snape did not want to steal the Philosopher's Sorcerer's Stone, Hagrid did not open the Chamber of Secrets, and Sirius Black did not want to kill Harry, so this is really telling us whom we should not suspect.
Hogwarts isn't safe anymore.
When was it? What a horrible, horrible place. I almost don't want to get into this because I really can't make any sense of it, but in this scene, Ron, via Hermione, is letting Harry know that Hagrid is looking for him.
Ronald would like me to tell you that Seamus told him that Dean was told by Parvati that Hagrid's looking for you.
They're not talking directly to each other because of the bullshit teenage angst subplot, but just remember this, we'll be coming back to it. Even though the contest events are supposed to be a secret, Hagrid takes Harry to see the dragons, giving him the advantage of advanced knowledge. Smells a lot like cheating to me, or at least not very ethical. He also shows it to the competition, which smells a lot like treason to me. Lose lips, sink ships, you commie. Harry lets Cedric know about the dragons, but I'm not sure why. Is it because Cedric helped him up off the ground in the first scene? That's pretty much the extent of their interaction up to this point. Or maybe he helps him because he's a fellow Hogwartian. I don't know. The relationship isn't made very clear. Feels like there's something missing here. Oh, here's another useless Draco scene in case you wanted one. He tries to attack Harry, but One-Eye Moody turns him into a ferret and tortures him a little bit. Harry seems to like this. In fact, looking back, it seems that Harry really enjoys other people's suffering. Someone could make a supercut of that. Okay, here you go. What a bastard. But Dobby's still the worst. Moody gives Harry some advice about the contest, suggesting perhaps he can use a broom.
But I'm not allowed a broom.
Yeah, that sounds like a rule. One of those absolute things that are enforced by the binding magical contract with the goblet. What would the goblet do if the rules were broken? What can the goblet do? Why is everybody kowtowing to this goblet? Can no one stand up to this tyrannical goblet? The contest is about to start. Can we get another scene with reporter? We gotta pad out this runtime somehow. Thank you. The competitors draw dragons out of a bag. Good thing they brought 4 dragons even though there's only supposed to be 3 competitors. Barty explains the rules.
Collect the egg, for each egg contains a clue without which you cannot hope to proceed to the next task.
This is your out, Harry. You said you
put my
wanted
name
nothing
in
to
that
do with the
cup.
contest.
I don't
All
want
you have to
to
do
glory.
is not get the egg and you're out. Problem solved, unless you're too dumb to recognize a golden opportunity even when it falls out of the sky, lands on your face and wiggles.
Just walk away.
He's not gonna figure it out, is he? Harry spends the next 5 minutes trying not to get eaten. This action sequence feels a bit overlong, but it's actually tied directly to the main plot. I think that's a first for this movie, so I'm not gonna flag it for anything. Other than the faculty letting things get dangerously out of control, but that's just a given by now. Harry gets the egg off screen and he celebrates the win. Ron crashes the party and buries the hatchet with Harry, but he does so by trying to take credit for letting Harry find out about the dragons.
Hagrid warned me about the dragons.
No, I did. Seamus never actually told me anything, so it was really me all along.
No, you just told Harry that Hagrid wanted to talk to him before Hagrid was able to do it himself. I'm sure that even if you were never born, Hagrid would have found some other way to contact Harry. And for some reason, you embellish it with a bunch of made-up intermediates for no good reason.
That's completely mental.
I know, brother, I know. At least now we've put this bullshit teenage angst subplot behind us. Time for some even bigger teenage angst bullshit. The entire plot comes to a screeching halt for 15.5 minutes of prom night festivities. All that building tension of the Triwizard Cup is dissipated for a bunch of scenes of who are you gonna ask to the dance? Better ask someone soon, almost everyone's taken. You're going out with him? What do you see in him? I'm going with him because you didn't ask me. I didn't know you were interested. God damn! Stab me in the eyes! I hate this teenage angst bullshit! all we get to see is our heroes be dicks to each other and treat their dates like crap. Hooray! What great character development. Is this anybody's favorite part of the movie? By the time we get back to the tournament, I'd probably forgotten about it. The main plot of the movie. Where did we leave off? What's supposed to happen next? I don't remember. God damn, 15 and a half minutes of this shit! Fuck!
What the hell was that?
Oh, Harry has another bad dream about the opening scene. I assume his dreams are due to his connection with Voldemort, but it does seem odd that he always sees him from the point of view of the caretaker. I mean, it's kind of weird, right? Cedric returns the favor and gives Harry some clues about the next contest. Seems like there's some camaraderie building between them, but this is practically the last time they interact before Cedric, spoilers, dies. His death would have greater impact if they'd given more time to building this relationship as opposed to, I don't know, 15 and a half minutes of teenage angst bullshit! Opening the dragon's egg underwater in the girl's bathroom tells Harry that the next contest requires breathing underwater for a long time. And the next time you watch the scene, try not thinking about how Daniel Radcliffe was 16 when this movie came out, and this actress was 40, and that she played Babu Frick. Harry gets some gillyweed from his drug dealer, which lets him breathe underwater. The next contest requires the participants to recover their personal treasures from the lake. Treasures being a euphemism for kidnapped family or friends. They tie up unwilling children and put them at the bottom of the lake for this contest, and this is accepted as normal. When one of the contestants is unable to complete the task, Harry saves her sister along with Ron. She thanks him profusely for saving her sister. They make it apparent that this little girl was going to die if Harry didn't save her, and the faculty condones this. These people are fucked up. Barty gets chummy with Harry, but Moody interrupts.
Last boy who went into the Department of Mysteries never came out.
Children go missing when interning at the Ministry of Magic, the place where Ron's dad works? Is there any corner of the Wizarding World that's not full of horrors? I want nothing to do with it. How can people find anything about this world inviting? Did they kidnap your children in Orlando to give you the authentic experience? Oh, my baby! Soon afterwards, Barty turns up dead. There's been a murder on campus, but they're still going ahead with the tournament. They must really be afraid of this goblet. Harry waits in Dumbledore's office while he sees his guests to the door.
Minister, after you.
Wait, what did he say?
Minister, after you.
All right, Dumbledore dropping an F-bomb in a PG movie. I'm starting to like this guy. Harry peers into the expositional baptismal and sees the trial of Igor Karkaroff. Oh, look, the pointless reporter is there too. I don't care. Karkaroff snitches on his fellow Death Eaters, which includes Severus Snape. Dumbledore comes to Snape's defense, informing us that he turned spy towards the end of the First Wizarding War, assisting the good guys. Now, if this is common knowledge, why does Voldemort trust Snape in the latter films? Barty Crouch Jr. is also fingered as a Death Eater. Remember him from, like, an hour and a half ago? Nope, neither do I. A little more misdirection towards Karkaroff, and the final contest can begin. Harry, again, is given an easy out of the competition.
Could at any point a contestant wish to withdraw from the task, he or she need only send up red sparks with their wands.
You said you were not interested and wanted nothing to do with the tournament. All you have to do is send up some red sparks as soon as you step into the maze and you're out. But you don't do it. Keep in mind that continuing to participate in the tournament leads directly to the resurrection of Voldemort. Like, good going, doofus. Harry and Cedric grab the winner's cup at the same time and are teleported to a graveyard where Voldemort's minions await them, and Cedric gets wrecked. They perform a ritual requiring a few drops of Harry's blood to resurrect Voldemort. He summons his Death Eater followers and reveals their identities. One of them is Lucius Malfoy. Harry is staring him straight in the face, and yet he never mentions to anyone that Lucius is working directly with Voldemort. The guy's been resurrected for only 2 minutes and can't wait to start monologuing.
Shall I divulge how I truly lost my powers?
Yes, please do.
You see, when dear sweet Lily Potter gave her life for her only son, she provided the ultimate protection.
Okay, so he does know it was Harry's mom who defeated him. Why is he so obsessed with Harry then?
Especially your filthy muggle mother.
No. Muggles are people with no magical ability. Lily Potter was Muggle-born, so she's a mudblood, but she is not a Muggle. She was a witch. She went to Hogwarts, and she defeated Voldemort using magic. Am I paying more attention to the lore than the writers are? This is stunning. Some weird shit happens during their duel. It's not explained in the movie, but it has something to do with the souls of the last few people killed with Voldemort's wand escaping. Which is why the old man is here. I mean, he's the caretaker from 2 hours ago. Remember him? I don't either. The spirits distract Voldemort so Harry can cast a spell that brings the cup to him. He had the perfect opportunity to do this 3 minutes ago, but didn't think about it then. One-Eye Moody takes Harry aside and reveals that he's actually Barty Crouch Jr. in disguise. He was the one who put Harry's name into the goblet and has been manipulating events this whole time.
Did you think that miserable oaf would have led you into the woods if I hadn't suggested it?
Oh, so it was Barty Jr. that told Hagrid to show Harry the dragons. Ron had nothing to do with it, but tried to take all the credit for just passing the request along. This kid is messed up. Junior also told Cedric about putting the egg underwater and pointed Neville to the books on gillyweed. All this to make sure Harry won the tournament and touched the cup, which Junior had turned into a portkey to transport him to the graveyard where Voldemort was waiting. But why did Junior turn the Triwizard Cup into a portkey? Apparently, anything can be a portkey. We saw one that was a boot at the beginning of the movie, but he chose to turn the cup into one. And the only way he could think of getting Harry to touch it was to make sure he won the entire tournament. Again, a tournament that Harry had several opportunities to simply bow out of. Why didn't he just turn Harry's bed sheets into a portkey so that when he hops into bed at night, poof, he goes to the graveyard? No need for this entire movie. I was so dumbfounded by how incredibly contrived this all was, I found it hard to believe. So I did a bit of research, and it turns out it's something fans themselves argue about. The closest thing I could find to a consistent reason is that Hogwarts is a no teleportation zone. Portkeys won't work on its grounds. The last contest is off-ground, so portkeys work here. But that being said, just grab him when he's not at Hogwarts. Turn his glasses into a portkey while he's asleep. He wakes up, puts them on, poof, end of story. And all they really needed was a few drops of Harry's blood, a job that could have been achieved with owl mail. Junior's about to kill Harry when...
What's all this then?
Oh, we almost made it all the way through this movie without one of these, but I guess you can't escape them. Wrapping things up, Dumbledore tells the students how Cedric died.
Cedric Diggory was murdered by Lord Voldemort.
No, we all clearly saw that he was killed by Peter Pettigrew. Do they not proofread these scripts? He gives Harry a pretty weak apology.
I put you in terrible danger this year, Harry.
Yeah, and it led directly to the resurrection of Voldemort. You're almost as bad as Dobby, but not quite. Dobby's still the worst. Wow, that has got to be the most overly complicated villain plot I've ever seen. Given the fact that a portkey could literally be anything. It's like choosing an Olympic gold medal to be one. In a competition, my intended target isn't even eligible to compete in, and then pulling all the strings to make sure it happens. It's insane. The main reason for this movie is to explain the resurrection of Voldemort, but it relies on all these extremely convoluted events that Harry has multiple easy outs on, but he never takes them for no good reason. I find it very hard to take the basic premises of this movie seriously. Oh, and let's not forget a whole bunch of teenage danks bullshit that pissed me off. I'm only halfway through this series. I don't know how much more of this I could take. Go away. Fine, alright, here. Whoa, wait a sec. I think I actually have some good things to say about the next one. Some things. I know I'm as shocked as you are, but hey, it's a good reason to tune in for the next one. You want to see that, right? Because I'm not going to talk about it now. I'm sick of this shit. Goddamn wig hair keeps getting in my mouth. I only just recently figured out how to keep this beard from falling down all the time. I added this extra elastiband here to keep it tighter. Before, when I was just relying on these loops at the end to go around my ears like that, it wasn't strong enough to keep the beard up. Every time I opened my mouth, it would fall down like... Damn shit!